Today marks World Hearing Day, and this year there's a particular focus on the importance of hearing care for children and the role it plays in shaping their development, education and future opportunities. The campaign theme, From Communities to Classrooms, Hearing Care for All Children, highlights the need for early screening and intervention, with the World Health Organization estimating that around 90 million young people worldwide are living with hearing loss, much of it preventable. And at the same time, here in Ireland, Hidden Hearing is highlighting the powerful link between healthy hearing and being fully present in everyday family life, from simple conversations to those moments that really matter with children and grandchildren. And to discuss why hearing health deserves more attention at every age, I'm joined now by the audiologist Faye Heuston from Hidden Hearing. Faye, good morning to you.
Morning, how are you?
Very well, thanks for joining us on the show. The big, strong focus on childhood hearing loss. Why is that particular aspect of hearing loss such an important issue globally?
I think the importance of childhood hearing loss is because the children will take in the words that they're hearing, and that's going to increase as they go through the years. So we know that children from the age of 3 to 5 take in a huge amount of words, and if they're not hearing properly at that stage, it can really affect how they go on through life, their education, how literate they are. So it's really important from that point of view that as early as children can be spotted with a hearing loss, is they'll have a better outcome.
Yeah, and with such a huge number of them as well, around 90 million children and teenagers worldwide living with hearing loss, I think people would be startled to hear that number, Faye. It's enormous.
I think hearing loss is probably a little bit more common than people realise, and that's for all age groups. I mean, for argument's sake, we know that 70% of people over the age of 70 have hearing loss and don't realise it. So it does happen more than we know. I know personally from my own son, he failed his newborn screening test at the beginning, and over the years, he's 9 now, I've been testing him myself, and I know that he has a 30% hearing loss. So I wouldn't necessarily see that day by day dealing with them, and I've certainly discussed that with his teachers about whether they're noticing anything. But then the odd thing will creep in where he's saying something that rhymes with what I'm saying. So it is something that I've asked the teachers to look out for, and I'm looking out for myself to see whether it's affecting him.
Thankfully, over 60% of childhood hearing loss is preventable. So take us through some of the most common and treatable causes that parents should be aware of.
So I think that common childhood infections, as in repeated tonsillitis, repeated ear infections, things like that, things where the child needs grommets, they're the most common things where a person can notice that fairly quickly. You can see when a child is sick. They mightn't necessarily be able to tell you that there's an ear infection if they're very young, but they'll be able to, but you'll see that they're all form. And it's things like that, recurring, that will have a long-term impact on a child's health and their hearing.
So what signs might suggest a child is struggling with hearing, Faye? Particularly signs that could be mistaken for something else, like, you know, a parent or somebody might incorrectly diagnose it as them being inattentive.
Well, this is it. I mean, that's one of the things is, are they looking out the window in class? Are they paying attention to the teacher? Are they picking up the right messages? Like I said, for my son, I'm noticing that he rhymes with me a lot. So instead of saying, get in for your dinner, he's talking about being a winner, and I kind of feel like, I kind of think something's up there, and that makes me go to the teacher and say to her, well, what else? Now, she has said that he's fine, but you could be looking out for not quite picking up the class lesson, or not quite picking up what the teacher has said, or, you know, is the teacher writing notes home in the book that they need to talk to you, or, you know, those are the types of things that you'd be looking out for.
And I suppose hidden hearing is also just on that point about, you know, your son misunderstanding what it is you're saying. You're also highlighting the connection between healthy hearing and being fully present in family life and associating hearing loss with older adults. I just wonder about that part of it as well, how hearing loss can impact on being able to fully immerse yourself in family life and fully partake in all the activities and conversations in particular.
Well, you wouldn't believe the amount of times during a day that I would hear that people can't watch television together. And so something as simple as being able to sit down and watch a movie is a bonding experience in most households, a Friday night movie with the kids and the grandparents. And that's one of the main things that people will come into me and say, I can't hear the television, or somebody's wife or husband might say they have the television up so loud I can't hear, it's too loud for me, we can't be in the same room, we can't watch television together. And so those kind of things, you can't say that they're going to cause a massive problem in families, but they're the one thing that you might see a lot of, that people put the subtitles on, or they're turning up the television so loud that other people can't be with them. But then you see other occasions like weddings, things like that, where somebody will be dreading the wedding coming up because they know they're not going to be able to hear anything, or they're not going to be able to participate properly, They won't be able to hear the I do's, they won't be able to hear the I love yous. And that's a huge part of the problem, is that people become isolated from the people that they love. They can't communicate properly with them because they can't hear what's going on.
Some people do delay getting their hearing checked, but I guess there are risks if you do put it off. People, I guess as well, from the age of 60, annual hearing tests are recommended, but should probably seek help earlier if they notice difficulties, Faye?
Well, the earlier you treat a hearing loss, the better the long-term outcome. So basically what you're doing is you're supporting your hearing if it's declining, and that will lead to your 80-year-old self thanking you because you'll have saved more of the hearing. And what happens actually is that the brain stays healthier. So we think of it just as a problem in the ear, but actually when you're treating a hearing loss with hearing aids in particular, it's helping your brain stay healthier, so it's keeping those neural pathways open and just having an overall better cognitive function. So yeah, we would definitely recommend treating a hearing loss as early as you can.
For anyone listening this morning, Faye, who's concerned about their own hearing or perhaps even their child, what is the first step they should take?
I suppose, well, we'd encourage people to get the proper information, so come in for a test. The tests are very rigorous, and we'll go through a full case history with people, anything, childhood infections, everything like what I was talking about earlier. We will have a look at their overall ear health, and they'll be able to see that too because it's on a camera, so they'll be able to see what's going on inside their own ear, which not many people will have seen before. Then we do the test. If there's a hearing loss, we can discuss then what the forward plan is. Everything's taken into account, lifestyle factors, family support, everything. In fact, we actually love seeing family members coming into the appointments with people who are worried about their hearing, because it just means that the support is there for them and that everyone's invested in solving this problem.
Okay, we do have to leave it there, but Faye, appreciate you joining us to chat about this important issue, particularly given today is World Hearing Day. That's Faye Heuston, audiologist at Hidden Hearing, with us on Tuesday's Morning Focus, where we are broadcasting live from the Shannon Recruitment Fair. We're here at the West Park Innovation Campus, and we'll be bringing you more from the fair after this short break.